In the early 19th century, one American phenomenon embraced the artistry of magic more than any other. The sideshow displayed freaks and geeks, daredevils and fakirs, and almost always magicians. The sideshow toured the country alongside a circus. Most notably was P.T. Barnum and his greatest show on earth. Before the decline of the sideshow, magic embraced the sideshow arts just as it had been embraced by the sideshow. Thus, a new genre of magic was born: shock magic, or geek magic. From this rich history comes through and through.
I just want to go into why I love the effect so much, okay? And why am I going through this? How can I put this? This is not a trick. I mean, this is something you actually do. I didn't create this. This is just something that was shown to me, and I just loved it. I love things that a lot of people aren't willing to try. I personally feel like it's no worse than getting your ear pierced. It's the frame of mind that you're in. You know, you have a tattoo, you've been there. The pain of this doesn't last very long, but it's so worth it because not only do you have people around you freaking out, but you just accomplished something that is just insane. I mean, there's been times where I've done this and people are still like, it's gotta be a trick because they're that blown away. It's like a pain that is so worth it. I'm almost speechless talking to you guys because it's hard to describe until you do it. You know what I mean? It's like I said, it's just not like a magic trick. Okay, what you're gonna need for this effect is an acupuncture needle. A couple reasons is it comes sterilized already, which is a very important thing in this effect. It's also the thinnest needle out there, and for this effect that plays a big part. Another good thing is when you're done with it and the trick is completely over, you can put it back in the package and throw it away safely. So they're the main reasons why you need an acupuncture needle. I want to tell you that you never ever want to use a needle just sitting around the house because you can get an infection, and it's just not safe, and it's too thick. So acupuncture needle is what you're going to need, and this is what it looks like out of the package. Okay guys, so now I want to give you some personal warnings that I really need you to follow to make me feel good. One is always use a sterile needle. Always open a brand new one. Don't ever share a needle. Don't ever poke your friends joking around. Also, if you're under 18, you have to get permission to do it. When you're done the effect, make sure you always put it back in the wrapper how you got it and dispose of it in a safe place. When you're done, you don't have to run, but when you're done, a good thing is to maybe carry an alcohol swab to clean the hand, or you can go to the bathroom and clean your hands off. If you decide to perform this effect, you must follow my instructions word for word. So just be prepared if you have to watch this over and over to make sure you know how this is done, because this is not just a trick. Okay, now I want to go into when and where to do this. This is not an effect you want to do every single day. This is not an effect you want to do a card trick and say, let me show you something else, and stick a needle through your hand. I would even almost say, don't combine this with tricks. This is a one-time hit. You hit them and you go. You don't stick a needle through your hand and then show them ambitious card. Also, I wouldn't suggest doing this to kids. I mean, it's just, you really have to be smart with this. You have to take it very serious, okay? You have to know what event you're going to. If somebody's really squeamish, I mean, you don't want people passing out. I mean, you want the reactions. There have been times where I've done this, where I've been doing it, and everybody turned because they were all squeamish. So now you're sticking this needle through your hand for no reason. So you have to know that the people, it'd be nice if you know that they're kind of into that stuff. So I would really, really highly suggest doing this on just top-notch performances. You know, if you're just going out for the night and just hanging out, I wouldn't suggest doing it. It has to be worth it, because your hand will take a beating if you just keep poking it through. And like I said, don't repeat it. All right, guys, now I'm going to go into how to actually perform the needle through hand. I don't even want to call it an effect or a trick because it just downplays it. I'm probably going to blab a lot to you guys, but I just find it so important because this is not just like a regular card trick. This is your hand you're talking about. And if you do it right, like I said before, and you follow my instructions, you're going to have a miracle on your hand. Before you start, first and foremost, wash your hands, whether it be with alcohol swabs or soap. Just make sure your hands are clean, okay? What you're going to do next is you're going to peel it open. Don't take this wrapper all the way off, okay? You're gonna need it. You're going to pull the needle out so it comes in this plastic, and inside the plastic is also in a tube, and there's a brown thing that wedges it in there. You want to save all this, okay? And actually it laying around while you're doing it kind of adds to it. They're seeing how serious this is, you know, and everything you're going through just to do this. So what you're going to do is you're going to take the little brown wedge out, okay? Put that aside. Now you're going to want to take the needle out, put the plastic tubing aside. Avoid putting this on a dirty surface or anything. Just hold it, okay? In a minute, you're going to have to adjust your fingers on the needle because you have to get a firm grip on it. This is very important, this part, because this is the difference between hurting yourself and not hurting yourself. So this is important. If you tense your hand up, okay, you're going to see the bones of each finger, okay? The needle is going to go in between your pointer and your middle finger. And between the bones, you're going to have a vein running down between that. That is one of the most important things to get around. You do not want to hit your vein. If you have trouble seeing your veins, just do this, okay? Just build up a little blood, all right? You don't want to go too far down. You want to be about a half an inch below your knuckles. Come down with the needle, avoid the vein. You want to try to go straight down, okay? But if you have to tilt toward your bone and you feel like the needle just isn't going in, then it's okay to kind of straighten up a little bit because that means you're hitting the bone too much, okay? I mean, right now at home, take your finger, go in between your vein and your bone, and just feel it. I mean, you could feel that there's a passage there to get through. I mean, there's meat and stuff there, but you'll feel like almost like a hollowness. That's where it's going, right there. Okay? Now I want to get into the feeling, okay? It's a mind game on yourself. The first time I did it, I had to psych myself out. You're going to feel the poke of your skin, and sometimes it's hard to tell if it's going through because what it is, you're going to feel the poke of your skin, And then you're not going to feel anything for like a second. And then you're going to hit the meaty part of your hand. And I'm smiling because I'm not going to lie, it hurts. It does hurt. But it's not something that you can't handle. That's hard to describe until you do it. I cannot even describe the feeling of it. It's not even so much like a ow. It's almost like a burning feeling, okay? Like I said though, don't do it and stop, okay? Just get through it, all right? Because it's only so thick, you don't have far to go. The way you know it's going in, because there's been times where I could have sworn I was pushing it through, but really all my finger was doing was kept sliding down the needle. If you need to, sometimes I actually keep a napkin next to me because, I get sweaty when I do this. I get a little nervous. I always get a little nervous. So picture this being the needle. This is what's going to happen maybe sometimes. And you'll have to re-grip. And you'll have to re-grip, okay? That's why you want to try to do this in one smooth action. Poke, meat of your hand, and now this is where it gets cool. I push it all the way through. Now I can feel this, and you'll feel this. I push it all the way through, even through the meat. Sometimes I'll come up a little bit, but as soon as I feel it's through the meat and I feel it hit my skin on my palm, I stop pushing at that point because it's in enough to where it's not going to wobble all over the place. I pivot my hand, okay? It's going to stay in there, which is one selling point. But this is where it gets awesome. You grab the needle and you push up and they see your skin go boom. And they just see it rise a little bit. And that's when they freak out. Sometimes it's really hard to get through the skin. What you have to do is don't stay relaxed. You have to tighten your hand. You have to tighten the skin in your hand. So just open it, get your skin as tight as you can and push. Now I'm going to tell you right now, because this has happened to me before. Sometimes if I move a little bit, the needle will bend. If it bends at a point where it's low in the needle, don't try to keep pushing it through because it's not going to go in any further. If it bends up towards the top, like up towards the handle, you're okay. Just readjust your hand underneath the bend and keep pushing, okay? So if it bends, you're okay. But like I said, the best bet is to just try to stay steady and smooth. Just push and squeeze the needle, okay? Just squeeze and push. Tighten your hand up. You're going to see the poke, okay? To be completely honest with you, sometimes I could push it completely smoothly through and it comes right out. Other times it's a little bit harder, maybe because I'm off a little bit, So this is what you're going to have to do. As soon as you get just the tiniest bit through your hand, hold this and use your teeth to pull it through, okay? You can let go at this point once you grab with your teeth and you pull it through. And I'll be honest with you, sometimes when I do that, it sells it and plays it even more because people are just freaked out. Now, you have a needle sticking in your hand. Do not rush to take it out. Milk this. Milk it for as long as you possibly can. If you have to walk around a whole auditorium to show people, I mean, I've done that as a show, just to show that it's real. All right, guys, we are almost finished. Now I want to talk about the removal of the needle. It's in the hand. You let it sink in. You get your reactions. You can do it two different ways. You can pull it out this way. I like to turn my hand back over and pull it out this way. I like to do it in sections sometimes. I'll start to pull it out, turn my hand over so they can get this angle too. It all depends on how many people there are, just so everybody's seeing it. So when you're removing it, just make sure your hand stays stiff. It's a nice, slow, steady pull. Do not yank it out. I'm telling you, do not yank it out. Don't even attempt it because I'm saying not to. It burns. I've tried it because I didn't know. I've learned all this from trial and error. And one time I just tried to be cool and just yank it out, and it hurt more than the whole trick. At this point, this is all about safety too. It's just as important as the putting it in, okay? You're displaying smoothly, one action, take it out. If you're gonna stop, stop. Don't touch it again. Turn your hand over, grab it. Don't be yanking it all around and pull it the rest of the way out. Your hand should stay stiff. Don't relax, because if you relax your hand, the needle can shift, okay? So just keep your hand just like this throughout the whole performance. Once you remove it, this is just as important as the trick as well. Don't just throw it. Please do not throw it. This is why I told you to save this, okay? It's almost like reversing everything. Take the needle. I don't even care if it's bent. Straighten it as good as you can. Put it back in this plastic, okay? Put it back in the plastic. You have the brown wedge that came with it. Make sure that that is wedged in there. Perfect. So that needle is not going to fall out. Put it back in the plastic wrapping. Even when it's here, don't assume that you can just throw it on the ground, okay? You have to be very safe with this. What if a kid picks it up or something? If I would suggest carrying it safely on you, maybe in a container or an inside jacket pocket until you get home, so to where you know it's in a safe spot. Maybe you can have a milk jug or something where you just dispose of them. But please just make sure that it is not in reach of a child or something. All right, guys, so I'm just going to go over it very brief for you and straight to the point. Wash your hands. Open this. Don't peel this off all the way. You're going to save everything, remember. Take it out. Put everything aside. Find the perfect spot between between the bone and the vein. Make sure you don't hit the vein. Come down with the needle. Start to push through. If you have to keep readjusting on the needle, that's fine. One way I readjust is I'll push. I'll put my finger on the top and slide my fingers back up and push again. Push through. Try to push through one clean action. When you feel the sting, don't stop. You're halfway done. As soon as you feel it hit the bottom of your skin, turn your hand over. Continue to push in one fluid action. If you can get it through the skin, keep pushing until the trick is completely done. Keep your hand stiff, remember, the whole time. If you have to, come down and bite it the rest of the way through, okay? But keeping in mind that your hand is stiff the whole time. Display it, sit back, relish your performance, take it out just as smoothly. Whether you want to be like this or this, nice and smooth, straight up and out. Back in the tube, put the wedge back on, put it back in the plastic, put it in a safe place to dispose of it.